Hey all, this is Anosis, and this is part 34. Yes, all the way up 34 already, and I've been thinking that I'm actually gonna try and do it legit, actually, the getting the ominous slash, because I've been trying to think if a bunch of dumb builds could actually work and stuff that. We of course still need to get the kills with Ares here, and stuff that we still need to get the kills with her. We have of course already all the keys here, like the Shokumon, Shiva, FFVII, Ramu, and Titan, and she only needs to be equipped with them to count as the key, basically, and stuff like that. But yeah, she needs of course to get kills, of course, obviously, so she can get the level 2 limit. Then she needs to get hit a bunch of times to use the level 2 limits a bunch of times, and then, because we are working towards, of course, Great Gospel here. And stuff like that. But because one thing I thought about is that it's that I don't remember if this works or not, because what's a magic defense percentage? Yeah, it is 0, because the magic defense percentage is very odd, because I believe that Spirit doesn't give you magic defense percentage. That's only ever gotten to armor, I believe. Even if you have like max dexterity, it doesn't give you anything. It only gives you the thing that's actually on an armor. So you need to have something that has a magic defense percentage, like any percentage at all, before you can start getting actual stat. But I believe that what you do is actually, there are several ways to probably do it. One thing though is that we might need a bunch more steel materials. I don't think this is enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. The question is, does it work though? Because if it works, then we will need to buy a bunch more steel materials. Now the thing is here, this being mastered does not really matter. We could just sell the mastered steel materials and stuff that. Right. You might say, oh, but Mag is really good and stuff that, but Mag, I believe Mag does not change. I'm pretty certain that Mag does not change your chance to steal at all. Like 0%, it's 0% affects the steal chance, if I remember correctly. It does not change it at all. These though, do they die in one single Shokumon? I don't think so. Oh, maybe they die in one fat Shokumon at least. Because what I'm thinking about is that I wonder if that is possible during just very specifically during, we can see how much health they have. So they have 950, so if they wouldn't have cast the barrier there, they might have died from that, but I think Shiva is probably maybe enough. Of course, if we ran triple time speed here, things would be considerably easier and stuff like that. Because keep in mind, right, is that the original didn't run as slow as these, like the remastered versions of Final Fantasy VII, both the PS3 one and the PS4 one does not run at the quote-unquote correct speed. Stuff that, right? Yeah, you might say that the original ran slow. It did run pretty slow if you... So why didn't he get more field limit break there? That seems like really weird. Should actually kill 3, but only on himself. Yeah. But that was so weird though, that it seemed like his limit break didn't fill at all from the Mai 3 hit. But that didn't seem to do anything there. It seemed like really weird, right? It seemed like Q3 didn't do anything. I think Q2 might be enough. No, it is not really close, yeah. So we need to cast Q3 there. That was a bit of a waste there though. And we killed one her already, maybe just a little bit. Go. Because yeah, she needs to get kills, but yeah, I think this is the closest, right? I don't think there's any further one though, is there? Is there a forest ahead? Because it is in... No, this can't spin... No, this can't spin rocket launch pad. So maybe this is not the correct forest then. I know they will die to one Shokumon, we already know that. because this is the battle you cannot want. But as you can see, it's only 4. So maybe it is the wrong forest, because these enemies are of course not rocket launch pad enemies. These are Nibelheim mountains, because these enemies were on Nibelheim mountain. Manipulate was born, nice. Okay, so there's another one mastered. So manipulate is born. Sense 12, sense. We could take more materials. Like we could take long range here. Yeah, long range good. I could have put more material here, of course, obviously, but you know. The question is though that how long does it take to master it? Because if I remember correctly, right, that yes, it's 40,000 the first level, but mastering the still doesn't take that long. And it might be better to just master it to get more instead of buying in the store or whatever. Right, and Odin is pretty far away from getting it mastered. But the goal would be basically that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 10. You would be able to have 10. So you would be able to get 10 extra dexterity, and our dexterity is 55. Maybe it would be easier than to do with Melanie, actually. Even though her attack is way less. It's just that she has way higher dexterity than Claude has. And stuff that's here. She actually has higher health at this point, but that's just because she has way less material and stuff like that, but yeah. The question is though, right, how much does if we will have steel in every single one, because it's 2+, right, for the steel, meaning so that yeah, 20 is so it's 20 dexterity, so it would go up to 65, 75 dexterity and stuff that, right, and like his dodge chance already now is at 19%. She has 22 though at 65 dexterity, so that's 10 more, so 10 more, 19, 20, 21, 22, so that's 3 more dodge percent from just 10 more. So 20 more would be like 6, then 6% more dodge and stuff that. And the thing is, like 22% is not really that high, but if we can gain enough levels, that's the thing, right? If we can gain like a lot of levels, for example, so let's go over to this forest, because I think here it's still called Nibel, here it's still called Nibel. And stuff that, so maybe it's this forest that is more the correct forest. I think this encounter looks more correct here, but I am gonna use Ifrit here. Because these have good mushrooms, of course. These mushrooms are of course different. Because these weren't the mushrooms from the what do you call it? These are not mushrooms from the Corel area, because they have a different color. These are the more advanced mushrooms. The cyan-esque. Okay, so that thing survives. That is a bit annoying though. Because it has the... Maybe we could nail it to death at this point. So I'm pretty certain that it has low enough health now. Low dodging. Yeah. Okay, so that's decent. I don't remember how many kills she needs, so that's the whole thing, that I don't remember the amount of kills that Ares needs. Stuff that, but I think it's on the lower end, right? But it's not as low, for example, as Kate Sit. It is, what is it? It's Kate Sit and Vincent that need the least amount of kills. I believe Vincent only needs 40 kills, I think it is, for every single one of his limp breaks. Because he only gets one, obviously, and stuff that, right? And it's something, of course, they could expand to like give him more forms and stuff there, because that could be something that could be exciting. Okay, so 3, 4, no, this is the only 6 encounter in the game. Yeah, this is it. So 3 in the back, 2 in the front, and 1 like in the super front there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the only 6 encounter in the game, I'm pretty certain. Because all of the other mushrooms appear like this. Like even the weaker mushrooms do not appear like this. And if this encounter is fairly common, or maybe it's only common where we are technically, stuff like that, because I mean if you can get 6 kills every time, then that means 10 kills or 60 kills basically. And that means that you can get 120 in like 20 kills. If you could consistently only get that encounter, for example. And it's in this part of the forest, so it's the part that is kind of closest to the mountain itself. So I mean, let's hope this is the case here, that we can just keep like grinding here and stuff like that. Yeah. No, because that would be good. Oh yeah, these weird ones. I actually want to see what they have. Nothing to sleep. Weren't these the guys in there? No, these weren't in the Kina building, right? Baba Bella Mayu. Baba down. Is Chocobo enough though? Because of course Chocobo just costs so much less than all the other summons. And of course, yes, getting Ominous Slash after Black Temple of Ancient is considerably easier. There are of course several reasons why it's a really easy one, because Dragon Armlet, of course has quite a lot of elements. I think what is Fire, Ice, Lightning. I think there's one more Fire, Ice, Lightning, and there's one more element. I forgot. Is it Earth specifically? Is it Earth, or is it something less common? Like is it Water? No, I don't think it's Water. I think it's maybe it's just Fire, Ice, Lightning that it has. But still, like having like 3 elements, and those 3 elements I feel are the most common elements. Ooh, this is bad. I'm not gonna care who gets the kills here. I'm just gonna try and go for the kills here. Just to get out of the encounter. I don't know why they are so common here and stuff like because you know, if it is the wrong part of the forest to grind then. Ooh, huge mask though. That's the silence mask. Right. Yeah. Silence on all opponents. Maybe it's over here. I don't know if there's anywhere specific that it is. It's not the most starting part of it here. Oh. Because again, right, because from what I remember always reading about the supposed forest that you grind for the kills is that this encounter should be very, very common and stuff, but I'm guessing that it means that you have to know exactly where in the forest to grind. Because if you're just trying to run over all the part of the forest, it doesn't seem to give you it very often. I'll keep in mind that there's a new game that I've gotten recently and stuff that I want to be playing through and stuff that, right? So, which is probably what we're going to be recording yesterday. It was released yesterday, but it was released pretty late yesterday. When the store technically updates, I would say it is. It was released at 17:00 plus like 5 in the afternoon, pretty much, and stuff that. So, you know, I didn't get it at that point. I got it a lot later, right? So I was only able to kind of play it for 1 hour-ish or so. I'm actually going to use the 3 times speed here just to, you know, use the escape more easily. But the fact that you get that encounter and then you get several of those like fucking weird mutated enemies is just fucking stupid, because they're literally just a time waster. Those enemies don't do any threat to you at all. And this fucking encounter, like that's like really fucking annoying. So is the next battle, no matter where we are, or that's going to give us the correct battle? Is it going to give us the correct one? Is it just that, oh, there's the mutant enemies and then there's this? Okay, that's just, you know, that's probably. I know if Ram is the best there. So I don't know if you can get those encounters anywhere, or if you are in the correct part of the forest, then maybe you don't meet those mutated enemies. Because the encounters could be annoying to get. But that is still 1, 2, 3. I think that is still 6, right? Because there's 5 in front, I think, and then 1 in the back. I mean, maybe it's here in the middle, actually, just, you know. Because usually it has to do with the location that you are at, actually where you are on the map. Okay, you know what, we're gonna actually be moving on with super time speed here because it just gives us the encounters faster, so we don't like waste like a bunch of time doing this, you know, and stuff that, you know. I'm gonna maybe just throw a soft cure here, just in case. Chocobo. Right, Chocobo. You're dead. Of course. Never had such an easy victory. Fuck your body, 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 oh, fuck your body. Oh, fuck your body. You defeated fuck your Biden voters. You defeated Joe Biden voters. You defeated evil US Democrats. It's just like, we didn't know that they were rising internally. And then they're like, okay, like, let's do it. Because they're fucking dumb. Where's Tate with her? Zabuski. The fact that even Aris in the back row hits that hard is like quite funny, actually. Yo, we got 2 times in a row, man. Definitely. Okay, we were exactly on the map. Okay, heal. But that's not master. Right. Now we're on resist, but you see the final one requires very little. So that's going to be 60,000 then needed to master heal. Which is actually very low, 60,000. It's not like that at all. Carries master, of course, obviously, but yeah, you know. Because I wonder how viable that set will be. Okay, so this is in this area. So can we get the encounter again if we're in this area? No, of course not. So it seems like you're not meant to try and stay in one area and instead you just go over the entire thing basically and stuff that maybe you just do like a little bit like this. I don't know. Because see, that's often the thing that seems to be great with the whole you know, look, nothing to steal. Okay, the fact that she hasn't gotten like a limit break yet, this seems a bit weird. But we actually need a lot of kills actually maybe, because she's an early character that year, but that would seem weird, like, you know. I mean, you can technically say that she's the official, like, really wild, like, white mage of the game, but that also feels a bit wrong because it feels more like a summoner. But of course, Yuna is a summoner, of course. And Yuna gets, of course, white magic as well, you know. Because it is just very quite simple when you see what she has. You know, like the way her weapon looks, and then you see the way like there were of course limited like weapon models in Final Fantasy X, which I think was the main weakness of Final Fantasy X actually, because I'm someone that likes when each weapon can look unique and stuff. That's right, But then, because the thing is, there were so many cool names of weapons in it because of the customization option. But I can understand, right, that oh right, yeah, you can customize this sword into like Excalibur and stuff there, but then it doesn't have a unique model for it. And you would think, right, that at least for like the big names, like oh, if you make Ragnarok, then Ragnarok, right, because Ragnarok is usually a high tier weapon, right, and it should have had a unique look to it and stuff that, right, that fits really bad. Okay, there's Breath of the Earth. It's a big deal. Because all states start staying as well, nice. I don't think we dare to put her in front row, though. I don't think we do that actually. So how close is Odin? Is 9,000. 18 there left to get. But maybe we used Grant to actually very high level, actually, because it wouldn't take that much extra actually to use Grant to very, very high level and stuff that, right? Because you might say that, oh, what would be the point? But then, for example, then we would never like need to grind for levels like later on and stuff that, right? But if we do it like beforehand, you might say, oh, but you can do it way faster. But yes, because in the Northern Crater, you use magic pots are the best XP in the game and stuff that, and the magic pots are not hard to kill. You use as long as you have elixirs. And you don't even need to do the trick, by the way, with the elixirs. Should we used to it in the cheating style though? Normally I wouldn't do this, but again, this is just in order to just save time, because we're going to be grinding levels anyway, and that's going to take a long time to do as well. We're actually going with kills now though, first. Building together a different encounter here that's easier technically. Stuff that. Yes, so Breath of the Earth. 1. Breath of the Earth. 2. Breath of the Earth. 3. Breath of the Earth 4. 5. 6. 7. And then 8. I think it's 8 always. I think that's enough. And then we get rock disaster, Lord. Ice, fire. And then it's Earth at the end, but it doesn't say that it does Earth. And of course, Fiori Brand is the one that fills the limit break on the other characters, specifically. Except yours. Yeah. There, because if you shake it here, it says Fire Ice selecting magic damage. Because it doesn't show up as being multiplied and stuff like that. But it seems weird because that thing at the end definitely seems to be another like element, if that makes sense, you know. So now we don't need to have that on really. Right. No, not Kryata, we don't need to do Kryata, we need to negotiate more here. It's gonna take some time, of course, to do the grinding here necessary to get her to the Great Gospel and stuff like that. Right, but once you get her level 3 limit break, she only needs to use that a certain amount of time, and then basically she can learn Great Gospel. But then the question is, would that dexterity thing work? I know that you get quite a bit of, you know, I don't think people will even kill the enemies on the other side. The thing is, of course, that the Ares has a lot of like interesting like weapons and stuff that with what some of them do and stuff like that. So, yeah. Because I mean, the more we get Black Encounter that have 6 enemies in them, so this is count here actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's 5. Yeah, this encounter is 5, but 5 is still the second best basically and stuff like that, right? So you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. But the thing that makes, for example, the death penalty on Wins so good is that you don't need to get the death many kills before he can start like use like one-shotting stuff with morph and stuff like that happens like fairly quickly. That he can start doing that. Because yes, there are like a lot of enemies that can be morphed that are like fairly early enemies that aren't like, you don't have like huge defense or whatever, right? Because you know that's the whole thing, you know. That it is entirely dependent on their HP level, so that once Vincent reaches enough attack power, like death penalty starts out weaker than even his base weapon, if I remember correctly. And the best thing with Mag, of course, is that Mag technically is a way to give you an attack even if you get a limit break, because here's the thing, right? You cannot do 4x cut. Because 4x cut changes your attack basically to 4x cut is what happens. Stuff that is what 4x cut does, like 4x cut and double cut. Double cut replaces your regular attack here, but when you're doing yeah, let's just kill all there, even though we don't need to. She misses. Sense possible, okay, that's good. I got to sense mastered. We will have 2 senses to master, of course, obviously, we still need to master that sense. Right, we step on an arm now then, because we have the one of the sense mastered, or we step on a steel actually. So let's snap on our non-mastered steel then, so we can master more steels. Stuff that. Now I'm not certain though that they do stack if you equip a bunch of different steels, you know, stuff that. I mean, that would be great, you know, if they do stack. So she has 67 with that, so she were at 65, yeah. But of course, just equipping one isn't proof that it works, of course, obviously, you know. It's a proof that it actually works. Because, you know, the question though is, since this is lower XP, does that mean that they catch up more the characters that aren't? I mean, Barrett is of course part of Melony's party, so 53, 53, 54, 54, okay. So they're kinda leveling up together with Ares here, kinda, stuff I say. But yeah, because I mean, 6 encounters are like extremely rare. I mean, I always remember reading that, oh, you just found this place for the whole thing, and I can understand that, right? But it depends on how often you get those things. But it also depends on, of course, if you have sneak attack is not 100% guaranteed. Leveling sneak attack takes a while to level up, of course, obviously. The bad thing with sneak attack can completely screw you over also. Like, sneak attack is very dangerous to have equipped in certain areas of the game. Because I do think that it is very, very stupid that they basically do like one enemy that kind of works like a trap, that there is no way to avoid that encounter, like unless you will be saving after every single encounter. But because in the notificator, of course, there's the magic pot, and you know what happens, right? If you don't give the magic pot the elixir, if you don't give the elixir to the magic pot and you instead say attack the magic pot, then the magic pot will steal something from you. And the thing is that they steal that they do. The magic pot can steal like stuff that you cannot get back. So for example, like if you're not currently having Ultima weapon equipped, it could literally steal Ultima weapon from you, and then no more Ultima weapon for you. It can steal your Apocalypse. Yeah, it can literally steal anything. It can also steal your level 4 limit. So if there's a level 4 limit that you haven't learned, for example, then it can steal that from you as well. Which is like really, really bad. Like that shouldn't be possible and stuff there, but that's like really, really annoying. But and the thing is, like, right, but you don't want to have sneak attack in the Northern Creatives too, of course, because there isn't an enemy there that the sneak attack would be really useful against. Like, I feel like sneak attack is mostly if you want to farm stuff that, because you basically go sneak attack and you go slash all. Is basically what you go do. You go sneak attack slash all. Yeah, all the kills that you get, in sense, will be good. I think we used Kyoto on himself. Yeah, that's the dangerous thing though with the it's annoying that she has a hard time hitting there. That's a bit annoying. I see that's the dangerous thing with running with the 3 times speed is, of course, that as you get continued to encounter faster, but you can't theoretically die with certain characters. I don't know how viable it is though, by the way, to, because right, the reason why I think that the dexterity build might be viable is because of how dodge works in this game. Because there's a lot more attacks that are physical in this than there are magical attacks. Like, there's a lot of attacks that get dodged by your dodge percent rather than your magical, like defense percentage. Like the whole magic defense percent there, for example, like most stuff get dodged by just your regular dexterity. And the thing would be basically that you put on Fury Ring, and you just put one bunch of steel, so you just have a bunch of dexterity, you don't have any other material at all. The main problem is, of course, you would have no way to heal. Because it needs to be absorbed right. Because I'm pretty certain even if you have Mag, it wouldn't prioritize trying to use Mag when you're using like Fury and stuff like that. Because of course if you have HP absorb here, attacks with paired materia absorbs HP at the same time. It doesn't say paired materia though, it doesn't specifically say that you have to use magic or that you have to use it only says paired materia, so technically it could work with steel. If you go steel, HP absorb, I'm guessing that could work. But then of course it wouldn't work with Fury Ring, because Fury Ring just gives you Berserk, it does not actually use a command when you're Furied. So for example, you can be Furied. However, I believe right that if you're Furied, right, no, it doesn't do that. I'm pretty certain it doesn't do that, because you cannot like use Fury together with like 4x cut or like double cut materia. Because if you're fjorded right, you would think that, oh, it just does the attack command, which is true, which is what it does the attack command. And they might think that, oh, then if I change the attack command to being like double cut, or like 4x cut, once you get 4x cut, basically, like that it would like prioritize doing that, you know. You know, might be true, you know. Maybe it does, you know. Magic. Planet Protector gained. There we go, finally. Planet Protector gained. Which is, of course, makes all allies invincible one time. Which basically is like, okay, that's basically the what Great Gospel does. Great Gospel gives you Fury Brand and also Planet Protector, but it also, like, it does not fill her own limit break, if I remember correctly, but it gives you the invincibility, but it gives you a better invincibility that lasts longer than the Planet Protector's invincibility, but of course at 3 times speed, it does not last as long. Yeah. And now we basically just need to do this. Basically now we just need to do this. And do whatever encounter we get here. And she doesn't need kills anymore. So, Planet Protector. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, but what you do normally otherwise is you don't of course run with 3 times speed, but instead you just run with, you know, I can use that to get the kills anyway here. She doesn't need to get the kills obviously, but still, you know, that should be it, right? Yeah, Pulse of Life. And Pulse of Life is interesting because Pulse of Life is also full heal, right? Pulse of Life is, isn't that like a mega elixir? It fully restores all allies. And now, Great Gospel. It should be okay. And there we go, Great Gospel. And Great Gospel is of course fully restores all allies, makes them invisible one time. And it also doesn't say it, but it does do the Fury Brand effect also. So that, or maybe it doesn't, maybe it doesn't. I'm pretty certain it does though, it gives you the thing also, but yeah. But fully restore all allies, so basically it basically does the level 3 ones and stuff there, which like is very powerful over the effect of its own, but then I believe it's also does the Fury Brand effect. But even if it doesn't do the Fury Brand effect, still like basically working like a mega elixir and stuff that like fully restoring you, making you immune for a while, and that immunity also lasts like a really, really long time if you do certain things. But yeah, let's do some testing. Let's do some chug test. Oh no, let's do some chug test here. So Claude, you're at 55 dexterity. So let's say you used where to say like equip all the skills we have currently. So 1, 2, 3, okay, 4, and 5, and 6. So 6 steals. 67. Right, that actually looks like it's a lot more, right? Yeah. But for example, she has 65. Okay, she has 65. So what if I were to take those now and move them over to smell on it? So she had 65. She has 65. What does she have now? Now she has 77. Okay, so yeah, so that gives her 25. And then let's say we were to give her like shock or feather, which is dexterity plus 10. Giving you 87 dexterity, that's 27% magic defense. So she has a 27% chance to dodge, which is not very, very high. However, the thing is that the way that dodge works is also depending on the level. If you're like severely above this level, then you have a higher chance to dodge than 27% is not correct. Your actual dodge percent is much, much higher than that. So that is something to think about. Of course, we will be able to use Chocobo Feather, of course, obviously, but you know, that's the thing, right? So, so back to the materials again here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah. So we will be able to get 3 more from mastering these steel materials here. We will be able to get 3 more to use. I'm going to equip her with the ones that are the key here. This is of course Titan, Ramu, Ifrit, Shiva, and Shokmog. So Shokmog, Shiva, Ifrit, Ramu, and Titan. Those are the keys that we all needed to have mastered. If you got an Odin, I could use on another character and stuff like that, so yeah. I mean, technically there's room for that actually if we do. Yeah, can run that setup actually instead. Yeah, let's run that setup anyway. So Rune Blade into Rune Armlet here instead. Let's run with that setup. Is there anything else we would want to have mastered? Yeah, all materials probably. Yeah, all materials. We will have those mastered as well. I don't know though if luck would be worth it, if like running a bunch of Chocobo lures would be worth it as well with that, or not. We can of course run a bunch of like counter attacks though, technically also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so yeah. So that is still 21% dodge chance with that, and stuff that, with that setup, so yeah. Let's just deactivate encounters and we go on a bit of an adventure. Right, so we have the steels equipped here. We have 2 all materials there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So 6 steel materials. And then we might actually go and use the other thing. Then I'm just gonna say if there were another forest over here. Technically, not that forest there, but you know, is there another forest here actually closer to Rocket Town? No, I don't think there's a forest at all. Although I've always been curious what the Chocobo tracks here are, like what type of Chocobos there are near. I believe he actually tells you though, the Chocobo stage or whatever, right? Or I mean, I'm pretty certain that there are people that have figured out what it is, but yeah. And there of course is one of the caves is here. I kind of forgot to say also that the islands to the north, that is actually not correct that one of them is the desert island. I believe one of them is the actual, what do you call it, one of them of course is the whatever you call it, one of them is the Goblin Island, but I believe the actual desert island where the thing is actually to the south of the left continent and stuff. That's right. I forgot to do the continent technically have names. I don't think they do actually. I mean, they might have, but yeah. So we're gonna go, of course, we're gonna go all the way around here. And I know that we're at a faster way to go there if you go the block the other route there to the Temple of Vincent and not take this all the way around, but yeah. Yeah. Like, do we just do one recording today? I don't know. Because again, right, like, now the goal will be probably used to equip double AP weapons. Just grind out some material and then just grind here. You use grind here, right, and do the turbo grind with all 3 times speed. the whole limit break always, you know, and stuff that. Just do that. Just do that over and over. But just do those with the current characters that you have and stuff that, you know, until you reach like very, very high level. Because I'm pretty certain about that. Theoretically, we can reach level 99 there because of the best encounter there that we can have. In Medieval is still good. The best encounter that you can have is still very, very good. And of course it is here. It is right here, of course, obviously, you know, the best place to do it, you know, and stuff like that. So yeah, and it's specifically over here, this specific part here, this part here. Yes, where you want to do it, of course, obviously. So it's this part right here. I want to kind of get the, but it's better to get this angle. It will be easier to do it there, but yeah. But this is where we want to do it, of course, obviously, to do the grind and stuff like that, you know. And stuff like that. So we equip her with what is it, Twin Viper, Rune Omelette. It needs to move one of them. So one needs to be moved here. And then Visor Staff. Of course, usually not Wizard Staff because Wizard Staff is actually weaker. That doesn't have 4 slots. And then we put on the Rune Omelette. She doesn't need to have earring equipped. Like that. So so the two transforms are mastered. The Mystify is mastered. Seal is mastered. Power is mastered. Heal is not mastered, so we need heal. We probably also need to equip someone. No, not with Restore because we don't need to restore, of course, obviously. So Restore, Lightning is mastered, Earth is mastered. Air Effect is not mastered. Elemental is not mastered. Elemental is not mastered. SP Absorb is not mastered. MP Absorb is not mastered. And then we put in an all. And we put in an all. And all materials mastered. And then she gets an all. She gets an all. Manipulate is mastered. Death Blow is mastered. So Throw is not mastered, so we put in a Throw. Sense is already mastered, so we technically don't need to master the second Sense. And then I guess Counterattack for now. Counterattack for now. Although getting Kyoto and Odin up would be nice. Actually, let's prioritize Odin and Kyoto on her here. So we get those first up. So we get Odin maxed out because both Odin and Kyoto is pretty close. Odin is pretty close to being mastered, and then once Odin is mastered, I only need to focus on Kyoto, and then I can get the other thing here and stuff else, yeah. So this will be the setup here. Stuff that, you know, 1, 2, and 3. Right. And I'm going to start here, of course, obviously. So we will be getting a bunch of cash from doing this as well, you know, obviously. I don't know exactly how long we're going to be grinding here and stuff that, you know, to what level we're going to be grinding. Lord still only needs 90,000 if I level up. Because the thing is, as long as we are under, basically because of the fact that I think the best encounter is like about 3,200, I think. The very best encounter, which is with the 5 headhunters. And of course, if there would have been, like, say, like a 6 headhunter encounters, then that would have been absolutely crazy. But yeah, or is it 4 headhunter encounters that is the best? I think it's maybe only 4. It's not even 5, I don't think. But then the second best is getting like the 3 headhunters or whatever it is. But yeah. So we're going to be grinding some more headhunters, but we will probably not do it now today because they're really going to the shit now. So that, because yeah. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy this, you know, and stuff like that. So I am going to try and do it legit with Omnis Slash so that I will record everything and stuff like that. But we will do a bunch of like different test builds and stuff like that, and I might need to also use off screen. I will maybe go back and use grind, so I just have a lot more gameplay so that we have like a shit ton. So if we have like 1,000 plus at least, you know, or something like that, so we can try out like fucking dumb stuff. And if the dumb stuff doesn't work, I can use like reload the save, you know, if like, or this steel strategy does not work, because of course, obviously, right, the thing would be that if we do it off the Temple of Ancient, the thing is Diamond Bangle has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots. I believe this is 5 slots. I believe the actual Dragon Omelette, right, has 2 more slots, or technically 1 more slot. but all of them are linked, so it has like 4, 5, 6. It has 6 slots to it instead of 5, which of course would mean that you would be like 6, and you would be like a 5 here, which would have more the same. Of course, once you get, for example, organics will be like 6 slots as well, so then you could get like 12 slots, but then of course you would have to get to disc 2 if you want to do that. But yeah, that's just something to think about. We could of course also equip like eating coat here, for example, but eating coat doesn't have a single defense percentage, which is a bit of an issue, because Diamond Bagger has 6. So with Diamond Bagger, by the way, we're at 22 defense percent. However, with eating coat, we're at 16. So you can see that thing still matters a lot. That the fact that the Diamond Bagger gives you 6. So that little 6 does a shit ton there for it. And stuff like that. So that's the main problem, because the eating coat does have the 8 slots, but as you can see, it's 22 going down to 16. So 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. So yeah, so it's 6 less. And that's the exact that is on the Diamond Bagger there in terms of the defense percentage. So yeah, the defense percentage being 0 is a really big deal if you want to dodge stuff. So So yeah, that's the thing though. That's the thing that it's a bit of an issue. And I forgot also if theoretically the Dragon Armlet has higher than this, if it has higher than 6. Because I know that once you reach a certain point in the game, you start getting armlets that has way high defense percentage, where it's a big jump up. I believe that like the elemental armlet, like the Aurora armlet, the bolt armlet, the fire armlet, all those armlets have like considerably higher. I think they all are at 10% or something like that. 10% in dodge chance, which of course would like improve things dramatically and stuff like that. But yeah. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this, right? I'm just gonna say here, and I'll see you all next time and stuff like that. So this has been part 34. I'm pretty certain. Yeah. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and I'll see you all next time.